tailgating, making tea in the microwave, and flying the flag. What else do Americans do that Brits don't? Let's find out. What's up, guys? It's Amanda. Growing up in the US, then moving to England, I quickly realized that both countries do things the other one doesn't. Who would have thought? So today, I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the things that Americans do that Brits don't. And I'm sure some people find a few of these a bit weird, but it's those things that make us fun, right? And let me know, what's the weirdest thing that you've seen or heard that Americans do? Put it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos about my life and experiences as an American living in the UK. Number 1, tailgating. This is something we do before sporting events, mainly football, American football, where everyone gets together in the parking lot outside the stadium or arena to drink beer, eat food, and just hang out before the game. It's called tailgating because everyone opens up the back of their trucks, which we call the tailgate, and people either sit on it or put their food and drinks on it. Penn State, one of the biggest college football teams in Pennsylvania, is known for its tailgating parties. It's a lot of fun, so if you ever get the chance to experience it, I highly recommend it. And to be honest, I'm not sure if the UK has an equivalent to that or not. Number 2. Excessive commercials, or adverts, as you guys say. This is one thing I definitely don't miss about living in the States. On average, there are like 15 to 20 minutes of commercials every hour on US TV stations. In England, I think it's a maximum of 12 minutes per hour, and if you're watching the BBC, you won't see any adverts at all. Yes, I know I'll probably get loads of comments saying that you have to pay a monthly TV licensing fee for that privilege. But that's just something I'm very happy to pay. If you spend any amount of time in the US watching TV, you'd probably feel the same. Number 3, making tea in the microwave. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments about this one, and I'm by no means saying that there isn't a single American who owns a kettle, but everyone that I know that drinks tea makes it in there. The while boils in the microwave, then the tea bag goes in, and voila, it's done. But now that I'm living here, I feel like I've committed a crime just saying that out loud. However, when it comes to coffee, almost every household in the US will have a coffee machine, as it's much more popular than tea. But I have to know, would you try making your tea in the microwave?
No.
Number 4, the way we write the date. I know many of you don't agree with how we write it. I've had so many comments saying that it's wrong and it just isn't logical. Apparently, we are one of the only countries to write it as the month, the day, and then the year. It just makes sense to me, probably because I've grown up with it. But before you guys say it, yes, I do know that we say the 4th of July, but that is the only exception that I can really think of, and to be honest, I have no idea why we do it. Number 5, flying the flag. Most Americans are very patriotic. We have shirts, hats, and decor with the American flag on it. So don't be surprised if you find yourself driving through the States and see the flag flying high on people's houses, sometimes even painted on the sides of barns if you're in the countryside. And I do know that Brits are patriotic, but in different ways. You don't see many flags about. I think some people think it's just a bit weird. Number 6, sales tax. A few people have told me when they visited the US that they found it confusing when shopping because the price tag didn't always reflect the price they actually had to pay. The reason for this is because the sales tax is actually added at the register, and every state will have their own percentage that they add. To be honest, I never really thought about it, but I can definitely see why it would be frustrating. You expect to pay one price, end up paying another. I have to admit, I much prefer the way it's done here. It's more straightforward. Number 7, the way we celebrate. As we're speaking about sports, it seems fitting to talk about the ways we celebrate, some of which I know people find a bit awkward. The biggest one that I've noticed is when I was fortunate enough to see the Philadelphia Eagles play at Wembley. Most of the fans were relatively quiet, except for my fellow Americans. They stuck out like a sore thumb. We're really loud and enthusiastic. You hear lots of like woohoos and high fives given compared to the subtleness of Brits. Which leads me on to some of the other ways we celebrate. Like I said before, high fives, fist bumps, and chest bumps. Athletes are always doing them when they're getting revved up for a game or they're excited about it. It's a way of saying great job or way to go. When I moved here, I quickly realized that no one really does those sorts of things. I mean, could you imagine trying to give someone a chest bump? That would go down like a lead balloon. Number 8, stores are open 24/7. I know some shops say it here, but it literally means it's open 24 hours when they say it in the US. If you need milk or bread, or maybe you forgot someone's birthday and needed a gift, you could pop to the shop at 2 a.m. Is it necessary? No, not always, but it's great for those times you really need it. Number 9, plugs in the bathroom. I really missed this when I first moved here because I was so used to blow drying and doing my hair in the bathroom. However, in England, the only plug that you might find in there is the shaver outlet. And we also have light switches in our bathrooms, not the long string that's in them here, which can be a struggle to find in the dark. Number 10, we use Fahrenheit. I know most of the world uses Celsius, including England, but we are one of the few countries who use Fahrenheit for temperature. I moved here and it took me ages to get used to it. And sometimes I still forget. So I use a weather app that tells me the temperature in both, which is much easier. Because I never remember the conversion. You subtract X amount from Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit, and then divide by 2, I think. Either way, apps make life so much easier. Number 11, spring break. I think everyone has heard about spring break at some point or another or has seen it in a film. It's usually associated with college students partying on the beaches in Florida or Mexico during the Easter holidays. It's a tradition that started back in the 1930s and has spread throughout colleges all over the US. I've never personally experienced it myself, but from what I've heard, it's a lot of fun. Hundreds of thousands of people flock to these destinations for a good time. Number 12, the way we celebrate fall. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that fall is my favorite season. All of the leaves turn beautiful yellows and oranges and reds. It's just so beautiful. In the US, we celebrate that with hay rides and pumpkin patches, baking pumpkin-flavored treats, scary movies, and driving around the mountains just to see the leaves. I know it sounds so weird to a lot of people, but it's just what we've always done, and I absolutely love it. It's probably one of the things I miss the most about living in Pennsylvania. It's funny how different things can be, but it's the differences that make our countries unique and fun to explore. I've come across so many things that Brits do that we don't, so I'm going to do a video on that as well. So make sure you stick around so you don't miss out. Also, don't forget to let me know the weirdest thing you've seen or heard that Americans do. As always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.